If you can hear me, hello. Hello again, everyone. Is there anybody? Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? And can you see if you can hear me? Can you see me? We can start like in 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe someone else is joining. So, another. So in the meanwhile, I'm posting here the link of the presentation that we will use. My goal was to share my screen, but that even again, I don't know what's going on with YouTube now. And I cannot share with you my screen, so I would be happy to show you to share the PPT now, so you can open it. There is no link. There is no everyone with the link can open it, so there is no reason. And then in any case, I will share with you with the WhatsApp group, which is going to be shared after this live streaming. So if you want to see it, so now I think we can start, because I know that someone of you has another webinar in 50 minutes. It's going to be very fast and easy. If you have any questions, feel free to write it into the chat. If it's working, I guess so. If not, you can also write me to the WhatsApp group or by email or whatever. Any means that you can know. So let's begin with today. The topic of this webinar will be the breaks and breaks and reimbursements. So break approvals, realization, finished, complete, everything can be breaked through our platforms if there is the need to. And I know that already some of you had this issue, and also the reimbursements topic. During the previous webinars, there was the connection about the case, so how to handle cases. And of course, one of the outcomes of the cases is that the EAP can have a reimbursement of the expenses that he or she has had during the experiences or before. So this is the content will be the status break. So I know that some of you already know it, because we have downscaled this in the previous months, but as far as I know, you will have also admissions in the next month. So you will have also new people to train about it. So it's good to have like a refreshment. So in order also to give them all the informations to the newbies in the upcoming months. Then touch points. We will talk about XPPs. So how to deliver and explain the XPPs to the EP that can. And then the reimbursement. So who, what, and when can be reimbursed and why. So let's begin with the first topic: is what can be broken. What can be broken? Basically everything. Every status on Expo or Isaac.org can be broken if there are the right reasons, and also some of them are more happen more often than others. But it's good that you know all the procedures and all the standards, all the stuff. So basically, accepting an approval can be approved by the MC at the MC level. And the ICB, so in the internal control board, is not responsible with it. So we can deal with them at ACB, at entity control board level, and also MC level. On the other hand, realizations cannot be done only through ICB. So it's a different procedure that can be done only by SB through the SCB. So there is another step to be added. It's also possible, and this is like the most common broken status that you can find, that you will find in your VP experience or team leader or member experience. There are also the chance to break. It's also possible to break finished or complete experiences statuses, but point one, it's not. It's not. It doesn't happen very often. It never happened to me last year when I was VP. So I barely know that was possible, to be honest. And in any case, this must pass as well through the ICB. So again, there are also, and there is another step which is contacting the ICB, and of course there should be motivations to do this. So let's begin with the most common and the most easier status break that you can find is the approved one. So there is, again, this can only be made what is in the MC structure on Expo, and can be done only by the I6 side. So basically, we need to contact the incoming side that can provide with the breaking the approval. Within ISIC in Italy, this is the flow. So basically, you already know. If you don't know, this is the procedure. So basically, through an email to acb.isec.it, and these informations, the sending entity heterodit and LC. So if you're I6, the committee abroad that send the AP to Italy. If you are outgoing exchange, of course, the opposite. So your LC. The hosting entity territory and the LC, again, if you are I6, it's your LC. If you are OGX, or if you're on OGX, it's the entity and the territory and the LC that is hosting the opportunity abroad. AP name and AP ID, and this is quite straightforward. The opportunity ID and the reason of the break. This is all the information that we need to have about how to broken approval. Then the reason of the break, they should be as much as possible close to the ones in the XPP. So we can process every kind of request, of course, but try to stick to the ones which are in the XPP, because otherwise, like my AP can go abroad because it doesn't like the country which has been approved. It's not a real good reason why to break. Like the process can be very faster if the reason of the break is good, is more close to the ones, is closer to the ones which are stated in the XPP. Who has to do the request? It's up to whom does the request. So it can be the VP, can be you, can be the team leader, can be the member itself. It's not, there is no, everyone can request a broken approval. There is no, it doesn't, what we need to have is the proofs. Again, the proofs can be a written conversation is basically the most used and the most important ones. So every proof that we have that the AP wants to break this, it's on both sides, both incoming or outgoing. No reason to. So written conversation with the counter LC. So email can be also screenshots of WhatsApp or any other instant messaging works, in instant messaging applications with the proofs. Better reason of the break can be the health reason, medical certificates, danger, like in the area of work. These are like the most common one, let's say the most close ones to the ones stated in the XPP. Again, of course, this is something besides the everything, we will keep all the informations private, and so if you need to share like some like medical certificates which can carry on sensible details, we will treat them as such. So we will not share with others that are not involved in the procedures. This is just to also to state this clearly. Let's see. This is so I'll create you like a funny but also precise template. So the requesting model like a template to which is also that you can copy and paste, of course, maybe changing the names, otherwise It would be funny, but like this is like I am Peter Parker, VP of Isaac in Metropolis. And they are killed to brighten the approval of this guy, which is named Clark Kent. And the reason of the break is he must save the world from an alien invasion, which is this is kind of the it's as you can see, it's very easy, it's very short, it's very fine, it's very straightforward. And then we proceed with we proceed with the request. For the OGX, it's going to be me. For the I6, it's going to be my colleagues in the SCB that works with the incoming exchange, and we proceed. Then there is the timing for this can vary according to the countries. Once that we send the request for the broken approval, there could be from some days in case of the South America. Some Brazil, for example, is very fast in broken approval. South America is very fast. Asia is more is lower. India, for example. So do not because again the approval break is on the can be done only from the I6 side. So this can vary also according to the structure that, and not every country has an ECB, not every country has an ECB that works as we work. It's a different. So the timing of the break-in approval can vary from one country to another one. This is the same requesting model and the same template also for realizing breaking, but in this case we handle also we handle all the procedures of the break-in to the ICB. So you are not really we at the ICB and also you are not really too much involved in this because it's also there is a third actor involved in this. So I didn't want to. You can follow the same procedure also for the realization break. The only thing is that there is another actor involved. That's what you need to understand. What you need to know. Again, now second point is to deliver and explain why. Deliver and explain the XPPs to the exchange participant. Why should we do it? Because of, first of all, prevention. So an AP that is informed about because the XPP state the rights and duties of the AP, and I know, yeah, the AP and also the enabler, the OP and the opportunity provider or the enabler, as you want to call it. This is the if all the parties involved in the project are informed about its rights and duties, this can avoid you a lot of issues. And also this can also help you to order to handling all the issues that could happen before, during, and after the departure. What we suggest you is to have at least two touch points with the AP to deliver about the XPP. One is before the approval itself. So okay, now you have a P from outgoing exchange side. This is mostly from the outgoing exchange side. So if you have an IP that is going to be approved, then you send in. I probably you do this already, but just in case, you send to him or to her the XPPs and you say, okay, this is our policies. You can have a look at it. Since they are one in English, two full of legal language, which could be hard for someone to understand. Our suggestion is also to read them physical, like meet them in person if it's possible, and go them deeply one by one with them, so personally or by phone, or try to have somebody that you can do, and which is also to have like a short, since not all the parts of the XPPs are related with the APs, you can do like a sort of summary of the parts that they are relevant for them. The second touch point is during the OPS itself, because some parts of the XPPs are related to everything that can happen after the approval and before the realization. So all the things that will happen after the prior to the departure and after the approval. And now we come back to the reimbursement policies. So let's assume I really strongly hope for you that you will never need this, because if you need this, it basically something went wrong. So I really hope that you will never need these informations. But still, shit can happen because life. Again, I refer to what my colleagues said in the previous webinars about how to handle cases. So I will not repeat what they have said. And all the reimbursement policies are stated into the XPPs. There is a section from 1.317 to 1.17.4 to 1.317.6. All these parts are related to the both for APs and both for OPs, for enablers. Proofs of all the violations must be kept at any time and provided to the SCB. So please, if you think that you will ask for a reimbursement, try to gather all the proofs as much as possible. Proofs, again, can be everything from emails, conversation chats, um, WhatsApp screenshots, pictures, or audio files. Everything can be considered as a proof. Again, not everything can be reimbursed. Not everything can be reimbursed, and not everything can be reimbursed all the time. Financial compensation may consist, this is taken up from the XPPs, on the following categories, according to particularly details, the XPP policies and the proofs. What can be reimbursed is the DOP or DAP fee, travel expenses and travel insurance, visa expenses, and additional expenses caused by any party, incurred by any party caused by the XPP violations. This is quite of. So this is all the things that can be reimbursed. And now we will go deeply in exactly what can be reimbursed and when and why. This is all coming from the XPPs, so I'm not inventing anything. This is then. First one is, I mean, again, some of them are more common than others. Some of them are more used than others. So not all of them are really relevant to you. So since, of course, the XPPs are global, so there are like things that can apply better to other countries than others. So really, again, try to understand which is more suitable to your local reality. For example, if there is no PS or no lead for the AP, the sending entity responsible to the AP fee reimbursement. This happens very not really often. Of course, this is also to avoid people that go into exchange without any knowledge about anything about what's going on. Then again, if the AP is over 30, if you haven't checked this, if he lied, if he lied, there is the OP fee. In this case, the OP fee. It can be that if there is anyone, of course. Then the responsible, if the EP lied, if the EP has to pay the OP fee, if there is one applied. If the sending entity knew it, that the EP was over 30 and there is an OP fee, the sending entity must pay for the OP fee. The EP has lived in then what this is quite especially this is quite important. The third one is if you have had people living in if you are dealing with Erasmus students or foreign students. I know that some LCs, they have a lot of that, or like for people that comes to Italy for studying. So if the PS lived in a destination country for more than 2 years in the past 10 years, if someone comes to Italy to study 1 year and wants to come back to his own country to do a GV, point number one, it seems a bit weird. Point number two is not allowed. Is not if, even though you decide to approve these people and send them, knowing that the actions are you have to provide 3 new APs to the hosting entity, and then it's responsible is the sending entity. So for the OGX, it's your LC must provide 3 new APs to the hosting entity. There is no financial compensations, but this is what is stated in the XPP. The fourth one is quite, it's the EP does not live in the country in which they were approved. EPs are not living for more than 6 weeks. So this is to avoid like people starting to approve people living in another outside Italy. Like for example, you have a friend that studies in UK and wants to be approved by your LC. These violations, this policy try to avoid this. So trying to avoid that you start to approve people from abroad. I mean, again, this is not really, it doesn't happen really often, but still it's important to know that there is this policy about. So now this is where the things get important. So the first one is the EP provided false information. This is really broad. False information can be everything. Can be everything from it's very tricky. So can be false informations about his health status or false informations about anything. Even not getting enough money to travel. And in this case, again, the sending entity must send 3 new EPs to the hosting entity or to pay the EP fee if available. Again, this is not really, since it's very, very broad, it's not really used. So again, it's good that you know that it exists. And also, then the second violation is only for the OGAT people, is if the EP is not getting salary. Then in this case, this is the OP or the hosting entity that must pay the salary for the EP. This is what. Or if the salary is different from what agreed, the hosting entity must pay the difference. Then there is something funny, because if the payment is less than agreed, is the hosting entity, of course, that must pay to the EP the difference. In the case of the payment is more than agreed, which is which is interesting, is the EP that must pay. If you have an EP which is extremely honest and is getting more money than what agreed, then the EP must pay to the hosting entity the difference. Then, having if the EP has the wrong type of visa, that's like if the hosting entity doesn't communicate which kind of visa the EP must apply for if there isn't a visa, or doesn't communicate if there is a visa that needed, and then the EP just stranded. The hosting entity must pay for the visa, the visa expenses, and any fines reimbursement related to the visa. This is quite become tricky if the DAP. So this is if the missing or wrong information came from the hosting entity, the hosting entity must pay for the visa payment, must reimburse the visa costs. So if the EP is responsible because the EP didn't get or even if he or she gets the right information, did something else, then the EP is responsible, which is quite off. So now there are some violations connected with accommodation and food. These are even common. So keep an eye on it, because if the accommodation was not provided as it promised, and this is quite tricky because it says that it was not the hosting entity is responsible to pay the reimbursement of the accommodation expenses if the accommodation was not provided as it promised. It doesn't mean it means that the accommodation was not provided, at all, if it was provided and covered. It doesn't mean that the accommodation must be good for Western standards, because, okay, my EP went to Fantasilandia and went in a shitty hostel. Okay, the hostel was shitty, but the accommodation was provided. Then again, if the accommodation is really against human values, human rights, this is not something else. But the proof my EP was in a shitty hostel, was in a shitty accommodation, it's not per se enough to get represent a violation of this policy. This is to again, and Same as food, if food was not provided as promised, the reimbursement for each meal that was promised calculated the amount of money that normally you spend for a meal in that country. This is, and this is, then again, if the job description does not correspond to the one in the OP form, so basically if the AP was meant to go to to work with dolphins and kids, and then it ended up to take out landmines from a war zone, this is kind of a violation of the job description. And then it must cover the AP fee and the traveling costs. Then the hosting entity is liable to pay the AP fee and the traveling costs. So basically, almost everything. If the AP came to the hosting entity, the dealership was cancelled because the opportunity was to play with dolphins and kids, and the dolphins went on strike and the kids were missing. Then, of course, the hosting entity must pay for the travel costs and the AP fee and the visa, if applicable. This is, of course, again, everything must be proved. Everything of this must be proved with the proof that we talked about before that. So keep in mind this when you have to ask for a reimbursement according to these two violations. Last but not least, again, the hosting entity is liable to pay for the job description, the travel costs, AP fee, and visa costs if the job description does not fit with the description in more than 50%. So again, if the project was playing with kids and with dolphins, again, if there were no kids and only dolphins, it's in this case the hosting entity responsible to pay for that, and the exchange less than 6 weeks. So or 8 weeks. So in any case, if it's less than 6 weeks. So if you go there and you work at the third week, the hosting entity said, okay, there is no more project anymore. Bye. In this case, you can pay for. The actions are also the same. This is these are all the violations according to the XPP. Again, you can also go there to the XPPs and read all of them because it's really. And again, as small information now, it's that soon there will be new contracts come out. This is a new spoiler for you. Because in the upcoming weeks, we will downscale to you a new version of the contracts, both for the i6 and OGX, because we saw that there were in the contract that you are using, there were a lot of things that could have been when improved. Especially, there will be a clearer description of the rights and duties of the APs. So basically, the AP is the sending entity only and enablers. So they will have like a foolproof description of what they can expect from us and what we can expect from them. And of course, in any case, they will be more overall to be more agile to read and to understand for all the parties involved into the transaction. So, the timing about this is going to be in May, more or less, because of course we need to double check with lawyers and the finance and legalities department. So it's something that is not immediate. So probably around May we will downscale the new version of the contract, and so you will have to. In any case, we will free to approach us to questions and doubts. Okay, so from my side, it's everything. So if you have any questions, feel free to approach us at the SEB, by WhatsApp group, by email, by everything. So again, from my side, it's all. I hope you enjoyed it, and that's it. So have a nice. Oh, okay. I see the also a question. Can you send here the XPP? I will put them on the on the WhatsApp group, or I will send it to you personally if you don't have it. No worries. I know you. Okay. So thanks again for your time. For those of you who have been here, and see you to hear from you soon. Have a nice evening.